Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, man. I got a nice little car ride back. To work because the interstate is so fucking flooded. But so we gonna talk about this. We 2 days short of crowning the first ever undisputed world champion as a super middleweight, and people, anytime Canelo is fighting, it's the atmosphere is electric. You dig? I don't care if it's the press conferences, the interview, everything leading up to the fight. You like, oh, I can't wait to see whether it's to see him lose or whether it's just to see him fight. So we here, almost, and with it's a lot of people, pulling an upset, which is, it happens in boxing, it happens in the sport. But what I just can't understand for the life of me is, damn it, I shouldn't have went this way. Fuck. What I can't understand for the life of me is the Floyd Mayweather comparisons, man. We get that a lot because he's slick. Let me reiterate, man. You are not Floyd Mayweather because you use the Philly shell and you have good defense. Floyd Mayweather had great, immaculate defense. It is a difference. It is a difference. Floyd did not get hit as often as Caleb gets hit. Head snapping punches. No. He did not get hit like that, especially in his prime. So that's what I don't like about it. And even then, Floyd didn't fight Canelo in the slick manner that everybody is. The reason people are picking Caleb to pull the upset is because of how slick he is and how well he uses his lateral movement on the outside. Floyd didn't fight Canelo like that, man. Floyd at a point was walking Canelo down. He stood in the pocket with Canelo a lot more than he did with any other fighter. He did that to prove a point. And it eventually got to a point where he had Canelo on the rope, on the turnbuckle, in the high guard, scared to let his hands go. He walked Canelo down. And the thing is, he was able to do that because, rewind back to Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd was he was a very offensive-minded fighter. He was very offensively minded. So that shit is still in you. When you come from that, when you're cut from that cloth, that shit is still in you, man. So that's why he was able to fight Maidana the way that he was able to fight him. He's comfortable in the pocket because he's been through it. He's been through the Arturo. Look how he fought Arturo Gatti. Look how he desecrated that man. Rest in peace to him. But he destroyed that dude. He destroyed him. He started getting they started really honing in on his defense, I think, when he fought, was it DeMarcus Corley? I think it was either DeMarcus or Emmanuel. After, he was cut, his nose and his lip and everything was busted. They're like, you're getting hit too much. But it takes a while for you to get, to completely separate yourself from who you are and gain, as a fighter identity, separate yourself from your fighting identity and forge a new path. It took a while for him to do that. And he had no choice once his hands started going brittle. So Floyd is comfortable in the pocket. Floyd is poised off the rope. It's the reason why he's so comfortable off the rope. One of the best to ever fight off the rope. It's a reason for that. Because he's comfortable in uncomfortable situations. When somebody is getting too close and you panicking and they hitting you, you're feeling the power everywhere that they land. You're feeling it on your arm, your shoulder. He's comfortable there. He ain't hitting me in my face. Staying poised in the pocket is I don't think people understand the importance of that. And Floyd was able to do that and really sharpen that tool through the level of competition and combat that he's been through. Caleb hasn't. So I really want to kill the narrative that, like, we gotta stop the comparisons between Floyd and Caleb, because Caleb is not Floyd. Not even close. The least y'all can do is say Lara. The least y'all can do is say Lara. He fought Lara. Lara fought Canelo off of the back foot from 1 to 12. Floyd didn't fight him like that. There was never a point in the fight where Lara was backing Canelo up. There was never a point in that fight. So let's stop with those comparisons, man. So back to what, you know, to the question at hand, man. When you talk about Caleb Plant in this fight, it's like he has the tools to win. He has the tools to pull an upset, man, because, you know, he has the faster feet, man. Your feet is what puts you in position to do whatever it is. You gotta have competent and educated feet to get to your spots. And he has that, man. He has really fast feet. And on top, it's not just fast feet. He has fast hands as well. He has a real good jab. He's upstairs and downstairs with the jab and concession. Double upstairs, one downstairs. One downstairs, one upstairs, one downstairs. One upstairs, one downstairs, one upstairs. You dig? He's real fucking, he's real unpredictable with the jab, man. You know, he's a good counterpuncher and he has good combinations. That could be a recipe for disaster for Canelo, man. If he pumps that jab and he stays on that jab, it could be a problem for Canelo, and he does it from a reasonable distance. He could pull an upset. But it's the psychology going into this fight that has me like, is he even going to do that? Because you got to, in their first presser, his thing was, oh, so Miguel Cotto's brother can make you do the chicken dance, but I can't. That right there says something. I mean, anybody, you can get hurt from you can get hurt from a straight shot down the middle, yeah. You can. You can. You honestly can. But Canelo has a really good chin. So to hurt Canelo, I think you're gonna have to hit him with shots from up close, where you're sitting down on your shots, you're planted in the pocket, and you're unloading vicious hooks. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it with straight punches. He's gonna have to use his bent arm punches to hurt a Canelo. So that right there was kind of alarming to me. It's like, yo, are you planning on going in here and willingly exchanging with this nigga? Like, what are you talking about? And now you bring in Andre Ward, which is a really good addition. I mean, shit, if Canelo brought Andre Ward into his camp, that'd be a good addition. Like, who couldn't use, the expertise of an Andre Ward? But the thing is, Andre Ward is talking about a knockout. He's going to stop Canelo. This is what Andre Ward is saying. He's predicting a knockout, a stoppage. Canelo's going to get stopped. And I'm like, why? Now, it's boxing. Anybody, all these cats have the power to hurt. I don't give a fuck if you're talking about a Stephen Fulton, man. Joe Joyce ain't trying to get hit by Stephen Fulton. Getting punched hurts. I don't give a fuck who's doing the punching. It's just some punchers hurt more than other punchers. So, all these cats know how to get their entire body weight behind the shot. But you can't 100% rule out a knockout, but you can 99.9% rule out a knockout. You dig me? That's just what it is, man. And that's just bad counsel. Why would you sit here and it could be mind games, it could be, psychological warfare, it could be that. But who's to say that it ain't psychological warfare and these dudes is really going in there with the intentions of knocking Canelo the fuck out? Why would you do that when you have the biggest attribute you have at your disposal is to his detriment? Why would you go in here and try to plant your feet and open up in exchanges with him? Why would you even entertain that? That's bad counsel from a dude that he's looking for counsel, that he's seeking counsel from. So, I Caleb Plant has the skill set to pull a rabbit. He does. I think he does. He has the skill set to pull a rabbit. But will he utilize it? That's the $50 million question. Will he utilize his tools to pull that upset? That I'm not so sure of. The biggest takeaway from this fight is, once again, you know, when they reference Floyd and they reference Lara, Caleb isn't either one of them dudes. I've said this before. He's not either one of them dudes. And naturally, when you do something at a very high level, we see he fought Lara 2014, he fought Floyd 2013, so we got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 7 years since he's fought Lara, 8 years since he's fought Floyd. And he's been consistently fighting the highest caliber competition available. Naturally, your skill set is going to continue to increase, man. And people keep saying he hasn't gotten better since the Floyd, what they say, he hasn't got better since Floyd or whatever. And I mean, I think what people are looking for is him to, you know, be really immaculate with his feet. Have, you know, feet, you know, equivalent to a Caleb Plant. That's not necessarily, that would be an incredible and tremendous upgrade, but not everybody, you know, upgrades like that. You become a lot more sharper in what it is that you do. And that's what he's done. His IQ is heightened. He feints better. He, you know, he hides his hooks better. He, you know, he's a lot sharper defensively. So it's shit like that that he's doing, or that he's, you know, that he's excelling in. He's not gonna cut angles like Lomachenko and Usyk. He's not gonna do that. But the thing is, he's educated enough with his feet to place him in punching position. So I just, I peep game, man. I'm gonna just be real, man. Plant isn't better than Billy Joe Saunders. And that's not to denigrate Caleb Plant, because Billy Joe Saunders is super nice. Like, I don't know what the fuck niggas is getting. Like, Billy Joe was just some half-ass fighter. Like, no, Billy Joe Saunders was an incredible fight. I mean, if he retires, if he comes back, he still can have a really good career. Billy Joe Saunders has beat some reputable fighters. At 160, yeah. Not at 168, but nonetheless, you can't. I'm not gonna. I'd give Billy Joe Saunders the edge if they were if him and Caleb was ever to lock horns. I'd give him the edge. So now you talk about that, like it's like, why are people so confident that Caleb Plant could just go, is just gonna go in here and just wash this dude? Like, it's like he's the last hope. You did, like, I don't know. I don't get it, man. I'm rambling at this point because it's like I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand people's dichotomy, man. It's kind of weird, man. Like, it's real weird. All Canelo fights is Euro bums, and it's like, bro, these are reputable European fighters. They're more accomplished than a lot of the American fighters that y'all want Canelo to fight so goddamn bad. So this dude is, you know, he's steadily fighting high quality competition, and the fact that he has more knockouts than Caleb Plant has fights is real alarming in itself. It's real alarming, man. Caleb Plant is a good fighter, bro, but it honestly is levels to it, man. It's levels. And even when you look at Billy Joe Saunders, once again, Billy Joe Saunders has fought certain caliber fighters to, you know, to where he's able to thrive in uncomfortable situations. That shit matters. Who you fight matters, man. When you face adversity, that shit matters. When you fight somebody that's really going to expose certain holes in you and you still find a way to persevere, that shit matters. And not just once, but a multitude of times, man. He got that title in like 2019 or 2018 against Jose Uzcategui, and he has fought below than meager competition. So I think Caleb Plant is going to make this fight very interesting in the first 4 rounds. I think he'll get in the rhythm early because I think Canelo is going to take Canelo a minute to figure him out, figure out his movements, find a way to get past his straight shots. I think it'll take him, about 4 rounds or so to do that. And it'll take him about 4 rounds to do that, get past the straight shots and, learn his patterns and how he spin, which way he favors going, spinning out towards and everything, and where he likes to throw his jab from. It's going to take him, I would say it's going to take him the first few rounds to get that shit figured out and get comfortable in there. Caleb will be in early rhythm, and as he's in early rhythm, around 3 and 4, Canelo will start to figure him out and get into his rhythm. So he'll be getting warmed up, I think, around the 3rd or 4th round. And Caleb will be, I feel like Caleb is going to be in an early rhythm, so he's going to have to match Caleb's rhythm. He's going to have to find a way, all right, cool, you're in rhythm, all right, I'm going to just start breaking you down. And then come 4 and 5, you'll start to see Canelo start, I see 4 and 5 being, somewhat swing rounds. And by the time you get to the 5th and the 6th, you're going to start to see Canelo pull away, and you're going to start to see Caleb playing gas and slow down. And after the 6th, I'm just expecting it to be just straight up domination. And if it goes 12, it's going to look like Miguel Cotto fighting Manny Pacquiao. He's going to be on full track and field mode. Except he won't have no spikes for shoes. He'll have boxing shoes. So I'm personally thinking a stoppage. But it could damn well go 12. I think Caleb Plant has competent enough feet to where he can survive for 12. But I think he's gonna get stopped. I think he's gonna get stopped. I genuinely do. I think he's gonna get stopped, man. I think and what people are saying is it is kind of weird how people keep saying that, they're pretty much only equated not equating, but they pretty much keep the only edge that they're giving Canelo in this fight is his punching power, which is going to be a big factor in the fight, but it's more than the punching power. It's the IQ, it's the counter punching, it's the defense. When Canelo starts slipping his shots and countering with that left hook downstairs to the body, it's really, he's not going to be ready for that. Now, that's how I think the fight is going to go personally, man. Now, it could go, if Canelo comes out as aggressive as he was with Billy Joe Saunders, it might be over before 8. If he comes out as aggressive as he was against Saunders, man. Because with Saunders, even, you seen in the locker room, when he was still warming up, he was working on footwork drills to cut ankles. Winning the footwork battle. He's not fighting a southpaw, so he's not going to have that to his disposal. But he was just putting himself in position to get the best punch available off. He's going to do that. If he comes out like that against Saunders, if he comes out like that against Caleb Plant, it's not going past 8. It's not going past 8. Because Paulie Malignaggi, when them bright lights hit you, man. When the bright lights hit, it's a different ball game. I mean, look at LeBron James when it was really time for him. All right, cool. I can finally lament my legacy by winning this title right here in 2012 or 2011. He folded under the pressure for an entire series. Pressure is different and it bursts pipes, man. So Caleb he's been in big fights, but no fight to this magnitude. No fight to this magnitude. And I keep hearing people say, oh, he's already lost before. Yeah, you can say that. I'm not mad at anybody who says Golovkin won. I'm not mad at anybody who says Lara won, even because I thought Lara won. But Caleb ain't them. Caleb is not them. Golovkin is gonna go down as one of the greats. As it stands right now, Caleb is not. He's not going down as one of the greats. Golovkin was a menace at middleweight. He was a menace. Caleb isn't that. People are calling Caleb out when that fight fell through, when the first negotiations fell through. Niggas was calling Caleb out. What's happening? All that. Oh, I always wanted to be an undisputed world champion since I was a kid. All right, it sounds good, but what have you done to prove that? You haven't fought any reputable super middleweights. You got one title under your belt. You still don't look like you're willing to acquiesce motherfucking David Benavidez. No Darrell brothers, none of that. You're not. I don't think you're nervous. I don't. I think you're actually confident going into this fight. But when y'all get in that ring, there's gonna be a lot telling when that ref starts telling y'all, starts giving y'all the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Anywhere above here up is good. We'll see what it is. But as it stands, man, like it's just, like no. I think Canelo is about to go in here and hurt this dude, and you're pissing him off. You're pissing him off. He's not a dude you can, like. He's not a dude you can get. You can't get under his skin. You can't say, "Oh, I'm under his skin. I'm pissing him off." That shit don't work with him, man. He's been, he's been in with too many high quality fighters for you to let, for him to let some shit like that get under his skin. That doesn't bother him. It just pisses him off. Hank Lundy thought he was getting under Terrence Crawford's skin, and he was in his head. He pissed him off. Golovkin pissed Canelo off, and he forced Golovkin to be a back foot fighter. Just completely went against his fighter identity. Forced him back. Uncomfortably forced him back. You see it you saw it in his body language, man. Like Canelo would not waver. He would step back and take that deep breath. Like that's a sign of aggravation. Like, like fuck. How can I get this dude to to bend the knee? Okay, that's what happened when he pissed Golovkin off. Golovkin has he has a granite chin. You got a cut that's still visible off of press conference, dog. Like, we still see that cut. That was, what, a month and change ago? When that shit happened? Was that September? When that shit happened? And I can still see that shit up under your eye. You don't think that man is going to bust your shit up? Like, come on, man. It's two ways to fight. Like, my first prediction is how I said it. Caleb Plant gets in rhythm early, and it's going to take Canelo a while to, a couple of rounds to figure him out. Swing rounds once he does figure him out, and Canelo starts to get in rhythm. And then after about the 5th or the 6th, you're going to start to see Canelo pull away and dominate.